Let's do some learning. Today we're going to teach you how to tune your baitcasting reel and clear a backlash. Okay, so now let's talk about what a backlash is. Now, a backlash is what happens when your lure is not traveling fast enough to keep up with the spool speed. And what happens is the line will unravel on your spool faster than that lure. That's going to cause a nice little snarl of knots and loops in your reel. So we're going to tell you how to fix that. If you're new to using a baitcaster, one of the things you want to make sure you take a look at is the type of braking systems that are on the baitcaster that you're using. The Piscifun Phantom has two braking systems. There's a magnetic braking system on the outside, and there's a centrifugal on the inside of this plate. Now, it's important to know what a centrifugal brake does and what a magnetic brake does. The internal braking system, which I'll show you right here, the internal braking system only helps you on the beginning of your cast. The beginning of the cast is not where most backlashes happen. So what we need to worry about is these fancy brakes on the outside that have a dial. These are going to be your magnetic brakes. Your magnetic brakes help slow down your cast at the end of the cast. That's usually the moment when the backlash happens. Now, your backlash can definitely happen at the beginning as well, but you're going to want to adjust your reel to the lure you're using to make sure that you have the optimum fall and the brake settings to avoid those backlashes. So what I'm going to do is take my dial on the side, the magnetic dial, and I'm going to increase it all the way to the top. Now, if you're not a beginner, you're not going to need to do this. You can definitely keep your settings a little bit lower and just finally adjust it to the size or the weight of the lure that you're using. But if you're a beginner and you're getting backlashes, you're going to want to dial those brakes up. And then we're going to go on the inside, and we're also going to put the centrifugal brakes up as well. So you can see here, we're just going to go ahead and we're going to dial those up. This is a good safe start if you're new to bait casting. Start with everything locked down tight. Now, what you're going to want to do is go ahead and try making a cast. When you make your cast, you're going to want to come back at about a 45-degree angle and cast. Now you're going to notice that cast didn't go very far. And the reason it didn't is because I have all my brakes cranked down. Now I'm going to show you how to set your brakes with the weight of the lure that you're using to get optimum casting with a baitcaster. Now, when you release your lure from the tip of your rod, you want a nice slow descent from the tip to the ground. See, what you can see there is the lure did not continue to drop because the brakes are so tight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to dial back my brakes. And I'm going to try putting my outside brake at about a 4. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to adjust my inside brake. And we're going to put that, it's at a 6 now. We're going to put that actually over to, let's say, it's at a 6 now. We're going to go ahead and put that down to a 2. So now we've got our external at a 4 and our internal at a 2. Let's see what kind of drop we get now. So that was a nice smooth descent. So this next cast should be much further. I don't know if you could see, but that cast went a lot further than the first one. Now, if you really want to make a long cast, then you're going to drop those brakes down as much as you want to. So I'm going to go ahead and put my brakes all the way down to a 0 on the magnetic. And then I'm going to go all the way down to a 1 or a 0 on the inside. Right now, I'm 0s across the board. So now you're going to see when I drop this lure. See how quick that was? That was a much faster drop. Now it's going to take much more control from my thumb to control the spool to make sure that it doesn't backlash. When you're on a setting like this, you're going to cast and you're going to ride the spool with your thumb. This is called thumbing the spool. This is going to prevent the line from snarling or from you getting a backlash. As you can see, much further cast, no backlash on the spool. So now I'm actually going to cast my lure straight into the ground just so I can backlash this reel and show you a quick and easy way how to get the backlash out. Ready? As you can see here, I now have a serious backlash. I'm actually going to go ahead and leave my thumb bar pressed, keeping the spool disengaged. I'm going to pull out until I reach my first knot. All right, that didn't take long. We've got a knot. So now, instead of picking at this reel, what we're going to do is we're actually going to go ahead and we're going to engage the reel. So now you can see it's engaged. There's a knot in there. And you're going to put your thumb here on the spool tightly and just spin. Spin that spool 2 or 3 times. Then you're going to hit your thumb bar again. You're going to strip out line. And what you're going to notice is that's actually going to pop most of your knots out. So now we get to another knot. Do the same thing. We're going to go ahead and we're going to crank down, crank down, crank down. Same thing. Open it back up. And you'll see now that that knot has actually cleared itself just from thumbing the spool and then stripping out the line. Now we've gotten down to the end of the backlash and we can reel our line back into the spool. Well guys, that concludes our video on how to tune your baitcaster and an easy way to get out backlashes. Do me a favor, leave some comments below and let me know what other kind of tips, tricks, and techniques you'd like to see from Piscifun.
As always, thanks for watching. Please hit that subscribe button and follow us on Instagram and Facebook.